Hey Aquarius. So first thing I want to say right off the bat is happy belated birthday. I meant to get to you sooner so that I could actually be releasing this during your birthday season, but I got very sick, as I've said elsewhere, but in case you did not see it, I was sick for 2 weeks. I haven't been that sick or really sick at all in like 6 years. So it was kind of a big deal. I'm still a little bit sick. I have tissues here. If I have to blow my nose or anything, I will pause the video so that you don't have to endure that. The second thing I want to say is that, here we go. This could very well be a cross-watcher video. I mean, not exclusively, I'm sure, but I'm getting that distinct feeling, and I'll tell you why in one moment. If you've never watched my videos before, if I do a channel, which I typically do, I'm going to tell you the channeled messages first, and then we're going to do the reading after. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to tell you what I channeled for you. Probably the weirdest channeled information that I've ever gotten, that I've asked for. Sometimes I involuntarily get things that are off the wall, but yeah, weirdest that I've ever asked for, I'll say. So okay, if you want to skip this and just watch the reading, you can. That's what I was getting at. Anything else? I don't think so. Okay, so right off the bat, Aquarius, like I said, this is a little strange, but it's also like amazing. I was actually going to do Aries instead of you way back when, before the Super Bowl happened. And I really was getting nothing off of Aries. It was kind of boring me and not really making sense. So I skipped them and started working on messages for you, and boom, like fascinating. Okay, so very first thing coming into meditation, I get a lot of music. If you haven't watched my videos before, music all the time, okay? Like my day-to-day life is filled with it as well. But anyway, so I got 3 songs for you. I mean, at least. I'm going to focus on these 3 because they go together and it's amazing. So the very first thing I hear is the theme song from the TV show The Dukes of Hazzard. Okay, so that show, I do believe that's Waylon Jennings. I don't know, some of this could be significant. I have no idea. I believe that show takes place, supposedly, I don't know where it's filmed or anything, but I believe it's supposed to be in Georgia, so that might be significant. If you're not familiar with the song, you can listen to it, of course, but I'm just going to read you a snippet here that I think is relevant. I mean, it's pretty short, but so it starts off, just the good old boys, never meaning no harm. Beats all you've never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Okay, and then I'm gonna fast forward. So it says down here, making their way the only way they know how, that's just a little bit more than the law will allow. Okay, we'll come back to all that. Next song, Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas, another location. Okay, so the Dukes of Hazzard actually refers to Hazard County, I believe it is. I don't really know. I used to watch that show as a kid. I loved the Dukes of Hazzard. And so Hazard is a location, and I believe it's in Georgia. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you know. If not, look it up. Pretty sure it's Georgia. And then Kansas is a band with the name of a state. It's also Kansas City. So it could be a city. But so right away we're getting locations, right? And then what's fascinating to me, well, I should back up. So, no, I'm sorry, I didn't work this out in my head. So that's the second song, Carry On My Wayward Son. Okay, that immediately jumps into a song called The Nights of Shame. And I don't really need to read you lyrics to Carry On My Wayward Son. Like, that's basically, but I did get the part, I did a reading, actually. The last reading I did was something about, I don't know, something about a head over heart decision, whatever. I kept getting stuff about the blind man, blind lady, things like this. And your channeled message was part of that. But this is like the third sign I've gotten something similar from, okay? 4. Libra and Virgo, if you're involved with either one of those signs, could be relevant as well. I got the same, I mean, in Libra, literally to me, Libra is justice, the 2 of Swords, both Libra cards, both about the blind lady, blind man, I don't know, it doesn't matter. And in Carry On My Wayward Son, or Carry On Wayward Son, whatever, the lyrics to the song are fantastic. And he says, though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming, I can hear them say. Okay. Rose above, noise and confusion. I just feel like that might be important, because another weird thing, because like I said, your reading was delayed. So, and I was really, really wanting to do it because I want to know what's going on here. So I was trying to get more information. Like every time it seemed distinctly correlating that I started seeing things, which I mean isn't completely out of the ordinary, but like seeing things that weren't there, like out of the corner of my eye, or just a shadow, whatever, I don't know. But it could happen like 3 different times, and I was like, what? Enough for a pattern to form. And so I don't know, there could be something about that. There could be something about illusions, your mind not seeing things clearly. Or I feel there could be an aspect here of paranoia. And I'll get to that in a minute as well. So, like I said, Nights of Shame, okay? By AWOL Nation, one of my favorite bands. Which is probably why it was like on the tip of my tongue when he starts talking about the blind man. So the part in AWOL Nation, which I mean, this is a fantastic song. Everyone should listen to this song. It's an amazing song. But where is it? It's past that. Okay, so, oh yeah, that's what it is. He says, it's all in your mind, baby. You got to do what you feel, like a blind lady. Okay. So all these songs kind of do this like mashup, right? And I'll just break it down for you because I'm not trying to drag this out unnecessarily. I want to get into your cards. And we're going to touch on astrology too. But anyway, so I take all of this together, right? And we have the Dukes of Hazzard. They're 2 brothers, right? With problems obeying the law. Next, we have Carry On My Wayward Son. Okay? Wayward is basically a way of saying like someone who's going down a wrong path. Could be referring to somebody who's committing a crime. Something of that sort. And then we have the Knights of Shame. Okay? Who, I mean, do I have to explain it? Which, I mean, amazingly, we have knights in tarot. So I just find this all fascinating. So if I have to say it, some of you could be dealing with brothers, siblings, 2 different people who, I mean, they could literally be criminals. I do feel like a crime was committed. So hopefully you're watching this, and if this resonates with you, you continue to watch, and if it doesn't, you don't have to watch, because I am going to do my reading specifically looking for information on what I channeled. Normally I don't do that. I let whatever come out. I'm asking specifically for information. I already meditated on my cards and charged everything up for that purpose. So I definitely feel like there's some sort of crime that's been committed here, whether it be literally like man-made law that's been violated or spiritual law. And I lean toward both, but definitely feel the spiritual connection, because once again, just to backtrack, that song by Kansas is like the theme song, I believe. I don't know. I would say it's probably the theme song of the show Supernatural, which has come up several times for me. And I never would have watched that show if it weren't for a nurse in Utah. So maybe Utah is significant. We have Kansas, Georgia, Utah. I don't know what else. So anyway, and one other thing I will say, the reason I think this could be a cross-watcher reading as well is because, and this is why I wanted to wait till after the Super Bowl to do your reading, because I was worried that wires were getting crossed. I knew leading up to the Super Bowl. I mean, I thought I knew. I never really know until I get confirmation. But I knew it was going to be the Eagles and Kansas City in the Super Bowl because of various information that I channeled, part of which was part of your reading. So I was worried that it was being interrupted by that. But then, like I said, I got the distinct feeling that there was a crime, right? And then it came out, I think, right before the Super Bowl, that one of the Eagles players, his name is Josh Sills, is actually being charged with a crime. I believe it's a sexual one. I think it's rape. I don't know for sure, but something to that effect. All right. And what was interesting to me is I was in the middle of trying to do your reading, like I said, and then boom, I got sick. Day after the Super Bowl. I don't know. But coincidentally, I was waiting for the Super Bowl to happen, for other things to unfold. I didn't want to crisscross my information. So I guess I got sick for a reason. Anyway, so that information came out. I did see the news of it. And as soon as I looked at him, because I'm good at this sort of thing, I was like, is he an Aquarius? And sure enough, he is. So that made me, one, confirm for myself that what I was feeling was correct, that there is some sort of crime going on here. And certainly the crime of rape is a spiritual as well as a legal man-made law violation, right? So I took that as confirmation, but I also took it as, I mean, in this circumstance with this football player, he's the actual criminal, allegedly. And so this could be flip-flopped. It can always be flip-flopped, but going in, I just wanted to point that out specifically. And another thing that it calls to mind is the fact that Pluto is moving into your sign soon, toward the end of the month, I think. And Saturn is moving out of your sign, which is additionally interesting because Saturn is moving into Pisces. And to me, like I said, supernatural, spirituality, Pisces, to me, and to probably a lot of people, Pisces is the sign of the supernatural, of spirituality, more so than any other. And then we have Saturn, moving in there, which is a big planet of karma, right? At least the way I see it. I feel, I mean, it's also about other things like hard work and, you know, getting your rewards or getting, you know, the lessons that you need. Things like this. Saturn is a difficult energy, and Saturn is actually one of your ruling planets along with Capricorn. Your other ruling planet is Uranus, but I mean, that's like modern day astrology would say Uranus. I hold on to Saturn. I hold on to the old astrology because I feel like it's just as relevant as anything else. So yes, and then there's Pluto, right? Which is moving into Aquarius. And I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be different for everyone. I think it's going to depend on who you are. I think it could be difficult. I think Saturn in Aquarius could have been difficult for you. But I also think that Pluto in Aquarius could be difficult for you, because Pluto, basically, I mean, there's so many layers to Pluto, but Pluto is associated with Scorpio. And once again, Scorpio is another water sign, but Scorpio is transformative. Scorpio is destructive. Scorpio is Mars energy, as well as Plutonic energy. So Pluto kind of shows you like what you've been overlooking, like what needs to change. Could be for a lot of you, it was like a giant bus or something just went by. Could be for a lot of you, you know, a time where you're really going to find that your life is being turned upside down, that you need to reinvent yourself, things like this. And certainly there could be aspects to Pluto of sort of like, you know, karma knocking at your door type of situation. Things coming back to haunt you. I was going to say to bite you, but I heard haunt. So I don't know. Like I said, this could be you. This could be somebody else, you know. Wherever there needs to be justice, I feel like there's going to be justice. When I was pre-shuffling your cards, justice flew out. The Tower flew out, which is basically what I'm talking about. The Tower is, you know, just destruction, tearing something down because it has to be rebuilt, because it's not stable, because it's not, you know, right. It's not sound. So anyway, I won't go on and on and on and on. I think that's pretty much the extent of your channel. Like I said, I'm going to be focusing on what the crime is here, what the justice is here, to try to get more information about the situation. And I'll try to read it as generally as possible, because I do feel like I said, I feel like there's two different sides to this. I do feel like there's some like cross-watcher energy where it's going to be somebody else. What I mean by that is, like, you know, you could be another sign besides Aquarius, and there could be justice due to you, for you, because of something involving an Aquarius. And like I said, I do feel like there are two energies probably involved, and another that is like the victim, all right? For lack of a better way to explain that. Because when there's a crime, there's a victim, and I do feel like the brotherhood or the whatever this is, these two people in cahoots. Sorry, I had a notification. I feel like they're the trouble, right? They're the problem. They're the criminals, whatever it may be. Okay. So I'm going to get into your cards. First, I'm going to pull from this deck, just in case you're interested. It's the Urban Crow Oracle. It just all kind of fell in my lap. I didn't really make a decision about this stuff. It's just what I was pulled to. So let's learn more about the crime. That's how I'm going to refer to it, okay? Regardless of what we're talking about. Tell me about the crime involving Aquarius. Okay, we have freedom in reverse. Oh my gosh. And illusion. Illusion. And I don't think these cards are meant to be read in reversal. Let me check. No. But I'm going to take it like that because I think it goes with the illusion. Like I said, there's some sort of illusion here. And I can't help but notice that there's a reflection of the bird itself. Because when I was pulling from this other deck that I'm going to use for the tarot, the first layer anyway, the hangman, when I was shuffling the cards, the hanged man, I'm gonna slow down, fell out. And I noticed on that card, maybe it'll come out again, that the hanged man, his reflection was in the water. So it's something to do, once again, this could very well have to do with Pluto forcing you to look at yourself, forcing you to reinvent yourself, to change the person in the mirror, right? And then we have freedom in reverse. So, oh my God, that was another thing I channeled for you that I totally just was gonna forget about. That was another thing. And this is exactly what that was. Here, I'll show you the card upright. I got this message about someone feeling like, God, I almost forgot it, so I don't even remember the exact origin of it. But the gist is that someone feels like you or someone else, they are being put in a box, they're being judged. This feels like an Aquarius thing to feel. It's like they're being categorized, right? Stereotyped. And, unjustly, or being labeled in such a way that you can't get out of it. And that's what this feels like to me, like the illusion that you're stuck. Because it is an illusion. You don't have to ever accept the labels that another person puts on you, right? Even if we're talking about a criminal label, like felon or something, right? That doesn't define you. Period. So yes, I'm getting that energy of somebody, once again, Pluto, needing to reinvent themselves, wanting to reinvent their identity, their life, to sort of clear their name, right? And for sure, if you're somebody with a criminal record, that could be relevant. Can you tell me anything else about that? I got chills right now, you guys. I forgot about that message. And there it is. Okay. Another notification. Anything else about this, Spirit? Please. I'm so enticed by this information. Communication distraction. Okay. And a warning at the bottom of the deck. Well, here's the warning card. That's 52. That could be relevant. Communication, number 9. Distraction. Oh, I see. I didn't understand what was going in the car there for a second. The bird up top is distracting the dog while this other crow eats the dog's food. I feel like that's important. I feel like that might have something to do with the crime here. Like, see, these two crows are working together. They're a duo, stealing from this dog, right? I don't know, Aquarius. I don't know if this is about you or someone else. The communication. I'm going to look these up in the book, the warning. Okay, so we have 15, 9, 52, 19, and 24. I'm a numbers person, so if you are, those are the numbers. Let me look up communication really quick. You know, I should read it to you. Oh, it's another dog. Okay, communication. When I lived in my 3rd floor apartment, one of my neighborhood crows would often come calling on my balcony in the morning. This was before we adopted our pup, Layla, who took up chasing the crows away. Interesting. There was one crow in particular that stood out that my daughter and I eventually named Brave One because he or she would go right up to our sliding glass door and rap-a-tap-tap impatiently with its beak. This delightfully persistent bird was looking for a handout. Communication brings the message to speak up. State what you want. You may think those around you know your needs and desires, but that may not be the case. Now is the time to articulate your wishes. Communication asks that you get clear on what you want so that there will be no misunderstanding or confusion later. Although communication may point to a situation on an earthly level, it may also indicate that you need to be clearer with what you want when communicating with your spirit guides or your higher self. Are you being too vague? Are you asking for what you want exactly? All right. Take anything I say for, you know, what it's worth, for what it means to you. But I am getting that feeling like tying into this illusion card, right? Like, I mean, that's like a basic premise, I feel, of life and, you know, the universe and how energy works. But I'll say it anyway. You know, you gotta walk the walk and talk the talk, right? Like, the two go hand in hand. So, like, what you say, you need to embody. Like, who you want to be, who you think you are, who you say you are, you need to embody in your actual life, right? I don't know why that's important. I just feel like I had to point it out. And vice versa. I mean, that's how you change either one of those things. Like, if you want to change your mind, how you think, one good way to do that is to change your actions, change what you do, change how you act. And then eventually your mind follows suit, and vice versa. If you change the way you talk to yourself, change the way you think, change the way, you know, change where you direct your thoughts to, then your behavior also changes. The way you feel changes. The way, you know, the actions that you're guided to take follows suit. And the idea always is to be on the same page with both of those things. No one likes a person who doesn't mean what they say, or doesn't, you know, doesn't show up the way they claim they're going to show up. Things like this. And I don't know how that's related to what we're talking about, but maybe that's a side message. I don't know. But, okay. I'm going to pull some tarot on this communication card because I just feel like it's important. What's the communication about? Spirit, angels. Tell me about the communication. The Six of Cups. Yeah, okay. So something from the past, I assume something, like I said, something coming back to haunt you. Tell me more. This is not what I was planning on doing, but I feel like it's important. Okay. So we have the moon, okay, could be a Pisces or a Cancer involved. The star, your card. Oh wow, that's a lot of cards on the floor. The Prince of Swords. This is like way too many cards. Ten of Swords, Four of Swords, and the Hermit in reverse. Okay. Okay, immediately I feel like somebody hasn't learned a lesson. Something about an ending here with the Ten of Swords, Four of Swords. They're restless. What's the Page of Swords? The Devil. Okay, hold on, I have a card here that dropped, but I can't reach it. Strength, okay. Strength and the Devil, I mean, well, for someone, this could be about, well, okay, two things are coming to mind, actually. I was going to say this could be about overcoming, strength, devil, overcoming with strength, the devil, some sort of depression, some sort of mental illness, addiction, obsession of some sort, something that was holding them, whoever the person is, holding them down at the time and preventing them from learning some sort of lesson, gaining some sort of wisdom. I do feel like somebody is, Hierophant, see, learning the lesson. I mean, this could be, for some of you, this could be about receiving communication from someone from the past who feels like they have finally learned a lesson of some sort. Like, to me, Page of Swords can be a delay. Yeah, the Fool. They could be ready for a new beginning. They might finally have cleared out the cycle, the karma, whatever it is. But, if we go back to that sort of criminal message, this could be about potentially hearing from this person, whoever this person is, this criminal, we'll say, and they could be reaching out because they finally overcame some sort of demon or whatever, and finally did learn some kind of lesson, but there was a delay. Page of Swords to me can often be a delay, a delayed message, delayed sense of clarity. It could also be about, spying and research and things like this, like covert operations. But in this context, I'm feeling it as like some sort of delay. Ooh, what is that? Did I see that? Okay. The Sun. See? There's some sort of clarity, some sort of healing, I think. Like I said, I think it's this other person or people. Could be multiple people. Like I said, I do feel that there's a reason I got the Dukes of Hazard, the Knights of Shame, but then there's the Wayward Son. So that's just one person. So take it however it resonates for you. But I do feel like this person could be attempting to heal some sort of situation. This reading could be a warning about that. And perhaps, this could be you or this could be them. Like I said, it could be a side message for some of you, like this illusion that you can't break free, or this illusion that you're locked into some sort of label, some sort of, category. And for some people, you know, that could be the category of like victim mentality type stuff. I don't really want to go into that too much because people get all bent out of shape about it. But I mean, speaking from experience, I do feel that victim mentality is a thing, and it's a thing that I think people do to themselves, because you always have the power to, you know, free yourself to rewrite whatever story is holding you down, really. And you always have the freedom to reject any kind of, you know, bullshit stereotype label that someone else is putting on you. I mean, they're usually wrong anyway, right? What's the distraction? I feel in this context, the distraction could have been this person or like I said, I don't know who we're talking about here. I do feel like it's like weaving in and out, and maybe it is double-sided. Maybe you're both going through a similar issue, or we're going through similar issues. Maybe that's where the bond came in, right? I do feel like this distraction could be some sort of mental illness, addiction, some sort of wound that, you know, someone was holding on to. There's that victim mentality, right? When you hold on to something, like it becomes part of your identity, right? The Princess of Torches. Okay, the distraction. Well, okay, that takes a different turn. Six of Torches. All right, well, yeah, that makes sense. Like somebody, the Chariot, somebody trying to get attention. It's a very kind of, but why? The Sun in reverse. Yeah, there you go. The Knight. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I mean, this, very strongly I'm feeling this is like, something about someone distracting them. Once again, I feel like I need to come back to this Strength and the Devil. I feel like this is about someone distracting themselves potentially from their own pain, their own unhappiness, coming from this, you know, this place of Page of Wands, like very kind of flighty, you know, childish, lusty, passionate, potentially energy, just, you know, someone who hops from one whim to another. And with the Six of Wands here, I do feel like it's just like someone thriving on attention, in order, I mean, God, tell me you don't see this constantly, like from so many corners of the earth, like someone who just thrives on attention, for validation, to prop them up, to keep them going, to numb out, right? To ignore the bigger problem, whatever their issues may be, whatever is holding them back and keeping them stuck. It's like they're just looking for some sort of escape. Sometimes it is drugs and alcohol. Sometimes it's sex and using other people, right? That makes sense. Anything else you can tell me about this distraction? Well, yeah, for some of you, this could be about the past, communicating. Okay, like if you had a situation, okay, I don't know what's wrong with me. If you had a situation with this person and you were communicating in the past, they might have been doing it out of like the motivation to distract themselves from, I mean, the Moon, the Devil, Strength, you know, the star did fall out sideways, by the way, which to me says that, you know, someone's not quite content with themselves. Like they haven't quite mustered up the courage to be seen for who they are, because the Star card upright is, you know, it's about many things, but it's also one aspect of that for me is about being, having the courage to shine. Prince of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, this could be a warning about somebody, you know, potentially coming back to trigger you in some way because they ruined their reputation, like, you know, with that illusion and freedom message. It could be them that ruined their reputation. And Page of Cups, Eight of Pentacles to me would say like they want to make amends and try to rebuild it, try to get you to see them for who they really are. I mean, I'm not gonna say whether they're actually a good person or not. That's up to you and your discernment, right? But and it's up to you to even accept the communication, right? I mean, like if this is somebody who literally committed some kind of crime against you, whether real or spiritual, which to me spiritual is more egregious. Is that the word I want? I don't know why I'm wanting to say egregious, but it's worse to commit a spiritual crime than it is to commit a man-made law violation. And I mean, I believe that it's more, the consequences are greater as well. And I do think that that's part of the message here, is that, you know, there are going to be consequences, or there have been consequences. King of Swords in reverse, yeah. Whether you see it or not, I do think that this person realizes their mistake. I feel like they realize that, you know, they are not as smart as they think they are. Seven of Swords. Yeah, there's some sort of lie here, and they know that that was stupid for them to even attempt. King of Cups, Judgment. Judgment. There it is. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's all someone needed to hear, was that I do think there's going to be, I mean, I already thought there was going to be justice. The Justice card was one of the first cards that came out. So I do think this is a message about justice, and I do think that, you know, whether that's like the real legal system, I do think that there's going to be some amends here. Hierophant, yeah, I mean, you have to pay the piper, whatever that means. All right, anything else you can tell me about this person? Tell me about the criminal. What can you tell me? Hold on. What can you tell me about them? The Fool in reverse. Okay. The Magician. Well, okay. I got the Fool a few minutes ago, which made me think that they were completing some sort of cycle and learning a lesson, but could be an Aries. Could be an Aries. And that could be why I couldn't channel Aries, and it was just kind of getting like nothing. Maybe that was a message in itself. Maybe an Aries is in jail or otherwise locked up somehow. And I am getting that feeling here. They're locked up they could see you as their ticket to freedom. They might see you as their way to redemption. Like if they come forward, if they confess, you know, what they did to you, apologize for it, they might see you as their way to redemption. All right. Well, tell me more about the illusion. Who is this illusion about? Like, who is this impacting? The Eight of Torches. Well, yeah. I'm getting that message again about like labels and stereotypes and assumptions or whatever. Somebody might have rushed to judge you, or maybe you rushed to judge them. I don't know what's going on here. It does feel very like fluid, like we're weaving in and out of different stories here. And maybe there's just a lot of people involved, because I don't do good with a lot of different energies. So, but yeah, I do feel like somebody rushed to judgment here. Either, you know, you or someone else rushed to judge someone else. What's the freedom? Might as well just tell me. Give me a card for the freedom. The Hierophant. Yeah, I mean, honestly, somebody could be in jail. Somebody could be going to jail. Or maybe they're getting out. You know what I mean? Take it. It could be anywhere on a timeline of possibilities. But regardless, I do think that the main message here is that, you know, there's an acknowledgement of a wrongdoing, whether that be, like I said, man-made law or spiritual law. Something has been done here that was wrong. There may be some sort of misjudgments or assumptions or whatever. Maybe somebody's being falsely accused of a crime. That could be too. And I do feel like there's an opportunity for both sides of that to overcome whatever injustice. I feel like there's justice, okay? Justice. If this is like the legal system, I feel like somebody's getting arrested. Like, put it that way. And if it's a spiritual crime, I feel like somebody's getting spiritually arrested. They're getting spiritually back what they put out. There's some sort of retribution coming in, for sure. And this all, whatever is unfolding, for whatever the specifics are for you, whether it be a communication, an apology, I do feel a very healing energy here, allowing potentially both sides to recover, to heal, to overcome. I mean, maybe for some of you, this is about a relationship. I'm not necessarily feeling that strongly, but this could be about overcoming something from the past. And if that's a question, then I do think that energy is here with the Strength card and the Devil and the Star and the Moon on this Moon card. It's not your typical Moon card. You see the Moon is crying, and there's these two people here facing each other. I mean, it kind of looks like the same person. Kind of looks like what we're seeing here with the illusion. But I mean, at the same time, could very well, you know, I don't like to talk about twin flames, but could very well be some sort of twin flame sort of implication here as well. But yeah, this feels very healing to me. This feels very cleansing. Unlike the typical moon imagery, there's a little added extra here with the moon crying. Like, it feels very cleansing. And especially coming out with the Star, which is Aquarius energy, if I didn't say that already. The moon for me is Pisces, can be Cancer as well. the devil is Capricorn, strength card is Leo. And I keep saying the Hierophant, so that's Taurus. Honestly, I'm going to leave that portion of the reading there because I feel like that is like pretty much, I'm just going to be repeating myself. So let's get, I have a number of things here that I brought just in case because I didn't know where this was going to go. I meant to do a Celtic for you, but it didn't even feel right. Once I pulled these cards, I felt like I needed to pull on them. So let's do a wisdom of the Oracle. Alrighty, I didn't even ask yet. We got building blocks. Okay. I'm going to pull another one since that one just flew out immediately. Exchanging gifts. I did see the Six of Pentacles when I was pre-shuffling. All right, building blocks and exchanging gifts, 28 and 27. That is really crazy to me. I mean, this deck has been shuffled 1,000 times, guys. And somehow I got 27 and 28. So, I mean, that could be significant. Let's talk about 27. The law of giving and receiving, currency, trade-offs, weighing costs and determining value. Yeah, I do feel there's an element here, once again, justice, right? Karma. You get what you give. It all comes back to you somehow. I feel like that's the larger message here, but I mean, who knows? This person could be bringing you a gift. Maybe there is some exchange here of, you know, this person overcoming whatever was in the way in the past. Maybe they're coming back and acknowledging that, you know, you were a gift, that you taught them a lesson, that you brought them something. Maybe they're going to bring you something. I don't know. So let's read. It says, you're entering into a productive and enriching time when all manner of opportunities are being offered to you. You have everything you need to seize them, yet in order to honor them, you must put in the time, exchange your experience and skills, and commit heart and soul to what you're choosing to pursue. That was kind of that message on the communication card, was to like align yourself with your goals, right? Communicate your goals, make sure that the people in your life and the universe itself understands what you're aiming for, right? Okay. You can do it. You have what it takes to be successful if you align with the law of giving and receiving. You must engage in a dance of give and take, push and pull, doing and being. If you let fear guide your choices, you could deplete yourself or create an imbalance. There's a justice again. This is not a time of just do. Use your currency wisely and be mindful of the value others bring to your life. I do feel like there's something here. I feel like potentially someone devalued what you bring to their life, or vice versa. Like I said, take it however it feels. All right. So building blocks. Oh, this was the exchanging gifts card. This is a very Libra card to me. So once again, some of you could be dealing with a Libra, but it's also echoing the energy of justice with that, you know, giving and receiving back and forth. Building blocks. I mean, once again, this could be, to me, I see the building blocks card and I think about having to rebuild your reputation, right? Having to reestablish who you are, change your persona, change your image in the world, which could be happening with Pluto. I mean, your whole life could be, like I said, literally could be turned upside down with Pluto coming into your sign. For better or worse, right? So that could be the warning. Okay. Building blocks, number 28. Strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. You have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. There's a time when your focus needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Yeah. Your work, your relationships, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. Are they still true for you? Will they stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you are making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. Yeah, this reminds me of the tower. Is the foundation upon what you're building your life on, is it sound? Does it represent the strength with which you want to continue building upon? And goes for relationships. This goes for your reputation, right? Because you decide who you are, you decide who you want to project into the world, and then you then act upon that, right? Like, I don't know, I can't really think of a good example, but like just say like you are a smart person, right? You're a nerd, whatever. And so then, you dress a certain way to project that image, and you talk a certain way, and you act a certain way, you go to certain places. But is that who you are? Is it who you were once upon a time, but maybe not anymore, right? And that's exactly what Pluto is probably challenging a lot of you to answer and to reflect upon. So I feel like this was a big reading about Pluto. But then again, like I said, there's those channeled messages there. I can't help but think that those are important, and that once again, we're getting this justice energy, right? The concept that you get what you give. So for better or worse, it all comes back in the end. And that's what I have for you, Aquarius. I hope something in there helped, resonates, what have you. Thank you so much. I will see you next time.